Hi, my name is Shrey, and today I'll be explaining question 1 from LeetCode's most recent weekly competition 202. So question 1 is 3 consecutive odds, and given an input integer array, we have to return if there are 3 consecutive odd numbers in the array. So the question is pretty straightforward, and let's just hop in straight into example 1. So in example 1, we're given an input array of 2, 6, 4, 1. So the first thing we do is we essentially just loop through the array, checking if each element is odd or even and doing something accordingly. So we see that 2 is even. So if 2 is even, we just reset whatever our count value is. I'll say reset count val to 0 and move on. So now we have 4. 4 is also even. So reset count value to 0, move on. Same, oh sorry, that was meant to be 6. So now 4. So 4 is also even. So reset the count value to 0 and move on. Finally, we have 1, and 1 is an odd number. So 1 is odd. So when we have an odd number, we need to increment count val. But the thing is, now we've incremented this count value to 1, we've reached the end of the array. And nowhere was our count value equal to 3, so we just return false in this example. So now I'm going to quickly go through example 2 and show you a scenario where it would be true. Yep, so we're given this input array of these numbers, and we say, hey, 1 is odd. So we're going to increment our count value and move on. Or I'll just say increment count value and move on. And I'm going to say that here for consistency. Increment count value and move on. 2 is even. So now we have to reset our count value back to 0. And I hope you understand why you have to reset this back to 0, because we start again at an even number. So since they have to be consecutive, you would have to reset it back to 0. So reset count value to 0 and move on. 34. 34 is even. Reset count value to 0. 3. So 3 is odd. So now we increment count value. So now our count value is 1, and we move on. 4. I'm just gonna say 4 evened reset just to save some time. 5 odd increment. 7 odd increment. So now our count value is 2. Finally, we have this 23. So 23 odd increment. And now that we've hit 3 consecutive integers in a row, we just return true basically. So return true. So yeah, that's basically the entire solution to this question. It was a really easy question, and I'm quickly gonna explain it one more time in pseudocode, just to make it a little bit clearer. So the first thing we have to do is we need to declare a count value to 0. And this is what we're going to use to see if we have 3 consecutive odd numbers. Now we have to say for every int in the array, if number is even, which is if the number mod 2 equals 0, or I'll say if number is odd first. Well, then we need to increment our count value. Else, if the number is even, then we just number even, we need to reset our count value to 0. And then finally, once we do either that if or that else statement, we just need one quick if statement to see if count equals 3. And if it does, you want to return true. Yep, so that's just a check at the end of the for loop. And finally, we're going to break out of the loop if we haven't returned true yet, and just return false. So yeah, it's an extremely easy question in my opinion, easier than a typical question one. And as always, if you have any questions, just leave them down in the comments below. And if this video helped you in any way, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.